Well, hello and welcome back to Read Becca. I think this may be a quick catch up on my reading for the week, so I thought I would set us up here on the floor where you can see Miss Ripley in her throne, and Mr. Rue is trying to convince us that it's food time, although it is not quite yet. But this is going to be quick, I think, though I finished some stuff. I always say that and it's a lie, but I don't have anything really to fully talk about. Authority by Jeff Vandermeer is the first thing that I finished this week, and this was my first time reading this book. This is the second in the Area X quartet now, and I really, really loved it. It's very different from the first, though. I think he kind of turned the first book on its head a bit, because the style is slightly different. The character is very different. We're following a new director to the Southern Reach who is coming in from outside, so has very little foreknowledge, doesn't really know entirely what's going on there, and is bringing a fresh set of eyes. So we're going from a character that was on an expedition to a new person who's actually going to be directing the whole thing. And so many discoveries came out of this, so I just really enjoyed this, and I'm going to continue on with the series with the last two books and give you a full series review when I'm done. The next thing I finished, I will have a single book review for, and that is Dry Land by B. Pladek. This was my first book for my library discovery project that I think I'm going to call the Library Treasure Hunt. And this is a very underread book. It is a sort of historical fantasy set during World War I, and we're following a man who has always really deeply cared about nature. And as a result, he has gone into forestry service. He went to Yale, I think, and has gone into the forestry service in the US, but obviously this being during the war, there is a great need for lumber in Europe for the war effort. And he also has magical powers to grow things. So interestingly, and what I found very unique to this book, is that he doesn't keep that secret. Like, he starts trying to cultivate this power that he has, and he tells his higher-ups about the power that he has, and they recognize it as a great benefit to them in the war effort. And so that was a really interesting take that I would not have expected. So I will have a single book review of this one, but I generally did very much enjoy it. And that is all I finished this week. So ongoing, in ebook, I have Phoenix Keeper. I mentioned I was going to start this for my in-person book club. I didn't quite finish it. It's very long, almost 500 pages. And I guess forecasting, I'm really, really not liking it. So yeah. Then I have Letters from the Country, which I am very much enjoying, by Carol Bly. And this is a collection of nonfiction essays. Sorry, I keep covering Ripley. I'm continuing on with that. A less successful one, Bel Canto by Ann Patchett. I have had to pause this because I mainly started this as a read what you own, but that I primarily could listen to while at the gym. And the audiobook is just not very good. So I have paused it because I am not going to listen to the audio. And that was the only reason I picked it up, because it was available now as an audiobook. So instead, I have gone to the audio of Going Postal, which is a reread for me. And Going Postal is a perennial favorite of mine from the Discworld series. So I guess this brings a conundrum about the Discworld series, because it is one big massive series of 41 books, and that seems to be how the author perceived it. But there are a lot of sub-series. So the reason I'm wanting to reread this is that I have read this. I think this is my fourth time reading this, and I've also read Making Money, the sequel to this second book in the Moist von Lipwig trilogy, I guess. I think this will be my second time if I continue on past this to Making Money, but I have not read the third Moist von Lipwig book, Raising Steam. So I want to read through the three together. But the character-based sub-series are more of a fan invention, I guess. They make sense in terms of being sub-series within the greater series, but how should I count that? That's my conundrum, is do I in fact count reading the third Moist von Lipwig book as finishing a series, even though it wasn't really a series as far as I'm aware the author is concerned? He considered the greater Discworld just to be the whole series. So yeah, a bit of a conundrum about how to handle tracking it I'm not overly concerned either way. I think I probably will treat it as a sub-series, because although the authors consider them this way, like if you think of something like Realm of the Elderlings or the First Law world, or even Sanderson's massive series of series, like all of those, you have sub-series within these massive worlds that are counted distinctly. So I think logically it makes sense to count reading the trilogy together of Moist Fun Lipwig as a singular series. This video is a mess. So anyway, that's it for, I think, the books for now. I spent like 2 hours listening to this today, and I love it. I love it every time. So anyway, onward from there. TV shows, I don't really have anything to talk about. I've been binge watching series of Project Runway to get those finished before they expire off of one of my services. So I will maybe say something about that next week when I finish them, but I like Project Runway, so it's gonna be more of the same of whatever I've said before about it. And then I think that's really it for life stuff. Not really anything to catch up on for this week at all. I've not done anything. The snow is finally kind of melting off, though it's been very minimal, honestly. Like we still have literal piles of snow out there because it's been so cold, but it is above freezing currently. And I think that leads me to recommendations for the week. And my recommendation for the week is just generally that you go check out the channel Fanfi Addicts. And I think they've kind of swapped the names back and forth, but the actual channel name is Fanfi Addict. And they are a sci-fi and fantasy focused channel mainly. But they have going on this weekend the TBR Con. And they have loads of wonderful panel discussions. I think I especially really enjoyed the Humor in Horror panel, which featured T. Kingfisher. So fantastic. The Disability in Fantasy panel was great. I think Michael R. Miller was on that one. Like, they've just had a whole host of fantastic panel discussions. And I believe this is sort of an extension of the Quarren Con that Our Fantasy put on. I think. I'm probably misspeaking there, but I'm pretty sure it is an extension of that. And they've just done such a wonderful job putting on all of these panels. So definitely check those out because they've been great discussions. So I think that is all for my very short and very casual weekly update. And Ripley is going to say thank you very much for watching.